right, we're going to talk about dreams. And the thing you need to know, first off, is that most of our story-like dreams take place during REM sleep. The other non-REM dreams that we have are less vivid, they're less story-like, they usually contain some sort of a thought or an image. It might be I was thinking about my exam today, or I was thinking about the boy that looked my way, or whatever. These occur in those non-REM stages, the other stages other than REM sleep. And we find that our mental processes during sleep, especially REM sleep, are similar to our waking processes when we're thinking and consciously processing information. There are different types of dreams. One dream that's real popular is called a lucid dream, and this is a dream that it's believed you can control because you're not completely unconscious. You are in a sort of conscious state that you are able to control where the dream is going to go. So if you wanted to go take a trip to Disney World, like I would do, you can control that dream and you can get yourself there however you want to transport yourself, and you'll feel like you are in between a dream and reality. Remember, Freud believed that the dreams that we have are the royal road to the unconscious mind, that they reveal all of the conflicts and all of the internal drives, wishes, things that we have in our unconscious mind. They reveal all of those things through the manifest content of the dream, which is the remembered storyline of the dream. We'll get to the latent content in a few minutes, but the latent content, if you remember, is the hidden meaning, the part that has to be interpreted. What do we dream about? Sorry guys, I mean, I know we tend to remember the more bizarre dreams, but really we tend to dream about mundane, familiar settings. We tend to dream about people that we know. I know that when I often dream about my family. Honestly, I dream about my students, not in a bad way or anything like that, but that's who I'm around all the time. Sometimes the sensory stimuli, like our alarm clock I mentioned the other day, can intrude into our dream. And 80% of our dreams are marked by negative emotions. I don't know why that is, but the dreams that we remember usually are not happy ones. We tend to remember the ones that are more bizarre. We tend to remember the ones that are scary or create some sort of a fear or negativity in our emotional state. One other thing that you need to understand is that, and students have a hard time wrapping their minds around this, but we are not able to dream about anything that we have not encountered at some point in our lives. Now, before you start trying to argue with me when I'm not even there to, give you my opinion back, just keep talking to the screen, whatever. But think about everything that you see during the day. You don't even know everything that you saw today. You don't remember every individual person that you saw, but you've processed it on some level. So let's say that you have a dream and there's a person's face that you see in the dream and you've never seen that person before. That may or may not be true. You may have seen that person and you just don't remember. It might have been somebody that you saw while you were driving, and this person was driving another car and you just saw their face for a split second. Your brain processes that and puts it in places, and it can come back out during your dreams. The other thing, and this is a little creepy, but the other thing that can happen is you can see someone that you've never seen before in your dream, and it could be a hodgepodge of different faces that your brain has morphed together to create this one face. So I really want you to think about the idea that you can't dream about anything that you have not experienced. And, if say that you have some sort of an alien dream or something like that, who's to say you never saw something like that on TV or on a movie? Or who's to say that you don't have such an imagination that you've thought of that image before? Or different images that, again, your brain morphs together to create this new one in your dream. Okay? Trust me on that. You can't have a dream about something that's not in your brain. Okay? All right, some common dreams. Hopefully you've looked through those and you've seen those while I was talking. Make sure you ask any questions if you have them when we meet again. The different theories about why we dream. These are the things you really want to get down for the AP exam. The first is Freud, that we've talked about before. We talked about this during the personality theories unit. We looked at his theory, and that our dreams, he believed, were always had some sort of an underlying meaning that would explain whatever is going on in our unconscious mind. Okay, he would teach his clients how to remember their dreams. They would write them down. They would keep dream journals, and then they would be analyzed by a psychoanalyst. And some people still do this today, where we learn how to remember our dreams, and we write them down, and then a psychoanalyst or a dream interpreter will interpret what those things symbolize. Second reason that we dream is simply for information processing. Think about all the things that you encounter during the day, all the things that you're learning, and when we dream, and I think I mentioned this when we were talking about sleep, but when we dream, we're actually strengthening our memory. We are looking at the different things that we learned during the day. We are the people that we met, the things that we encountered, and we just process it, and we start to strengthen neural pathways, which is actually the next theory, but these kind of go together. But we put things into memory, and we are more easily able to recall them later. We do know, evidence supports this fact, that REM sleep facilitates memory. And research has been done on high school students, and I know this is old research, but A or B students are sleeping more and they're going to bed earlier than your C, D, and F students. The third theory, physiological function, that neurons are firing during our REM period, and that's helping to strengthen those neural pathways that are being created. I told you infants are sleeping a lot more because they're encountering so much more, and their brain needs to process that information and needs to strengthen the pathways that are being created so that they recognize faces, and they begin to know who mom is, know who dad is, know different environments, know different noises, sounds, things like that. So the same thing happens for us as we get older, that you've learned these things in psychology, and then you're going to sleep on it, your neurons are going to fire, and it's going to cause all that information physiologically to be preserved throughout the night. The final theory is called the activation synthesis theory, and if you remember when I was talking about REM sleep the other day, I mentioned that the brainstem blocks the impulses from the motor cortex from being delivered to the periphery of the body through the somatic nervous system. The brainstem, according to this theory, is actually sending different neural activity up from itself into the brain, and it's the brain's attempt to make sense of this random activity that neurons are sending. Neurons are just firing all over the place, and the brain creates a dream. It creates a story from these random activities. So the limbic system, our emotion center, especially the amygdala, and then the visual centers and the occipital lobes, they are active during our dreaming state. We've seen MRI images and things that show the activity in these parts of the brain. And I like the quote at the very bottom: dreams spring from the mind's relentless effort to make sense of unrelated visual bursts, which are given their emotional tone by the limbic system. Dreams are the brain's interpretation of its own activity. So that's the fourth and final theory about why we dream, and I think that's about it. So make sure that you write down any questions you have and ask me when you see me again, or shoot me an email. Take care, have a good night.